Welcome, everyone. Adam the Woo here, coming to you from the cemetery in Sanford, Florida. And check this out. You can actually get a $1,000 reward. According to this sign, a $1,000 reward if you have information about this crime. This crime. Call that crime line number. But what law would be being broken, what crime, if you will, would be happening out here on a somber Sunday morning at the Page Jackson Cemetery in Sanford, Florida, that would constitute the word this, about this crime? Not a crime or the crime or any specific crime, but this crime. What crime happens in a graveyard? This is your second channel daily blog channel. Or my second channel daily blog channel. Vicariously, it's yours too. It's the DailyWoo. We're going to bring it down a notch, because this is a very interesting subject from a graveyard. I'm actually in Sanford, Florida. There's another one of those signs right over here. They're actually kind of festooned all through the graveyard. There's another one down there. They're all peppered in all over the property. Here's another one intermittently between these foliage trees, these berries. Hopefully not poison ivy, because I am wearing flip-flops. I do not want to be walking around in poison ivy. This is called the Combined Cemeteries. This is the Page Jackson Cemetery, and over there is Lakeview Cemetery. It's two cemeteries combined together. There's portions of it that are actually called technically Combined Cemetery. So there's three cemeteries out here, two officially and one that just took on the name Combined Cemeteries. Some of these graves actually date back to the early to mid 1800s. It's amazing. It's very vast, very large, and there's a certain grave I tried hunting down, and I walked around a very lengthy time before I found it. So if you're ever in Sanford, just watch my vlog, kind of figure out where I have walked, and you will be able to find this grave when we get up to it. There's a fantastic story. I believe it was T.J. Miller or J.T. Miller. I could be incorrect in that. These are unedited. I'm not always 100% accurate on my facts. The good thing about you guys is you guys can look up the facts and the figures and the information about these vlogs with me as I go along and correct me by leaving comments down below, or just give me a vicarious internet pat on the back for giving you correct information and remembering all these things I should say in these lengthy, unedited vlogs. So when you think of a cemetery, you think of loved ones, historical figures, people of the past, special people in your life that are buried out here. In the late 1800s into the early 1900s, for 28 years, there was a funeral company that owned a horse and a carriage that would actually bring a lot of these people out here to their final resting place, their final ride, if you will, to be laid to rest at peace, to rest in peace here in Sanford, Florida. And the horse and carriage that the Miller, I think it was T.J. or J.T. Miller, owned, that brought these people out here, funeral procession at all, the minister giving a touching speech as these people were lowered into the ground. The horse that brought that carriage, that caravan of people, the casket, the horse that actually brought these people is actually buried among them. I'm talking about Bob the horse. And that's Bob's grave right there. For 28 years, and it's actually mentioned on the gravestone. This is not the original gravestone. You can see how these roads curve. There's a road here, and then it curves there, coming off of the main thoroughfare right over there. A long time ago, someone drove off the road, either accidentally, hopefully not purposefully, and actually just nicked with the tire, hit the side of the original tombstone of Bob the horse, and actually broke it. It's now in the Sanford Museum. Someone donated the new tombstone, and there's always flowers out here, and no one ever knows who leaves flowers for Bob. But there are some flowers here that have fallen over. So I'm actually going to pick up the flowers. It actually says at the bottom, faithful 28 years. There's actually a carving and a sculpture of Bob the horse and his name across there, Bob. Bob is referred to as Old Bob. That was the name, the nickname people gave him. And for 28 years, Bob would come right in here off this road, pulling a casket on a carriage, and he would take people to a resting place. And now Bob is buried in the same cemetery that he brought former people to. Very interesting subject. There's not a lot of animals that are buried in cemeteries, especially horses. There are a few around the country, but this is a rarity for Central Florida and for Sanford. So pay attention now and take a look. A moment of quietness for Old Bob. Very interesting story. You know these daily vlogs that I do every day. This is day 889. Yesterday was 888. I have not missed a day yet. I love learning about new places that I can go, and I could share them with you. You can get a hold of me on social networks or by leaving comments down below. I love traveling around and doing things and seeing things and bringing you interesting, fun objects like Bob's grave, which is very historical and very interesting. And it's right here at the Lakeview Cemetery, next to the combined cemeteries, next to, what was the other one? Something Jackson Cemetery at the beginning, Page Jackson Cemetery. So if you're looking for it, it's very difficult for me to find it. Just turn in to the Lakeview Cemetery, drive to this lengthy area. This area of the cemetery over there is a little bit shorter, so look for the part where there's three cemeteries combined. You'll see the sign for the Lakeview Cemetery and Bob's grave, if you choose to come out here and pay your respects to Bob, or to just see the interesting cemetery and how odd it is that there is a horse buried among the humans. This is where you can find it, right here, next to this tree, next to that sign, at the corner of this. Just do not drive off the road and break that one like another guy did back in the day. One day I'd like to go to the Sanford historical area, to the museum where they have Bob's original headstone. That would actually be really interesting to check that out. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. That's a Ramones song, one of my favorite bands. Punk rock band which went on to have a lot of commercial success. One of their big hits, and one of my personal favorites, was the song Pet Cemetery. A song about they don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. Which leads me to this question. Do you think animals would sing the reverse lyrics? Do you think Bob the horse, from the grave, or in his present day state, back in the early 1900s, before Bob passed away, would he have ever sang, I don't want to be buried in a human cemetery? You know what? I think Mr. Ed is actually buried in a human cemetery somewhere in California as well. Could I be incorrect with that? So Mr. Ed and Bob together singing in stereo. You could put this in stereo to the left and to the right. I don't want to be buried in a human cemetery. Very interesting. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you're having a great Sunday. This is an awesome graveyard. I love walking around, looking at a lot of the old graves. Some of the old graves back on that back corner are above ground. They have cracks in them. A little crazy, a little spooky. I can imagine at night in these old graveyards. It would be very interesting. I got my keys ready to go, so I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you're having a great weekend, a great Sunday, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for Monday, which is TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday, which is tomorrow, but it's still Sunday. Soak in the rest of the weekend goodness. I'm in Sanford, Florida. Sun is coming down, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. See you, Bob. See you guys. Till next time.